of one of those puzzling parables. It's like makes you scratch your head and wonder what's he talking about. It kind of turns our normal world upside down. And it's this parable about a scoundrel, a snake in the grass. He's called the unjust steward. And he betrays his master, and he's caught with his hand in the till. It's like the Enron scandal. And he's caught. His time is up. Okay? But in the parable, our Lord kind of praises him. He extols him. And there's Father Robert Barron gives a way to interpret this parable as, like, in every situation we must see, judge, and act. The unjust steward saw reality for what it was. Okay, he was caught. He had no unemployment benefits. In these days, there's no Social Security net. And so the man panics. He has little hope of finding another job. He's too weak to dig ditches. He's too proud to beg. And so it kind of is a life and death situation for him. And so he acts. He calls in his master's debtors. He chooses to cheat his master further, to put his hand deeper into the till. Like he said, he compounds his immorality by ingratiating himself with the debtors. He wants to find a softer landing when he gets thrown out by the master. And our Lord praises his cleverness, but not his immorality. Jesus says the worldly take more initiative than the otherworldly when dealing with their own kind. Okay. And there is that line that tells what the fault of the unjust steward is. The unjust steward judges only in the light of time rather than in the light of eternity. He sees the time benefits of stealing, but not the eternal consequences. He had to make a decision to serve God or men, and he chose to serve men. So he chose to serve himself rather than the will of God. Okay? And so Jesus says, you cannot serve both God and mammon. You can't serve God and the world at the same time. Okay? So while he praises him, he also points out his fault. And so the application for us is also to see, to judge, and to act. And to see requires that we are in contact with reality. In order to make a right judgment, we have to see reality as it is. We have that clear vision. Maybe some less important examples. You know, if I'm getting out of breath when I climb stairs, well, maybe I need to cut down on the food intake. But am I willing to act on that? Okay, if I aspire to be an Olympic athlete, am I willing to get up at 5 in the morning and hit the pool at 6? Okay, to see, to judge, and to act. Okay, and so in today's gospel, it reminds us that God is a demanding judge. The inability to see is called denial. Okay? Some people live in denial. It's clarity of vision is the ability to see as God sees. Denial is the refusal to see as God sees. Like I use the example of, like, some people call themselves pro-choice. Okay, that's denial. Okay, that's a lie. Okay, because the verb choice needs an object. And they say, I believe in a woman's right to choose. Okay? Again, they never complete the sentence. Is it the right to choose hot dogs or hamburgers, or is it the right to choose abortion? Okay? To say I believe in a woman's right to choose, to say I'm pro-choice, is to live in denial. Okay? In fact, maybe to bring that point home, if a group of men were in favor of rape, and they called themselves pro-choice, they believed in a man's right to rape, and they called themselves pro-choice, we would say if they acted on that belief, they should be put in prison. Everyone would agree with that. Okay? But it's not politically correct. It's short-sighted to judge only by the time consequences rather than eternal consequences. So again, Jesus himself saw the world broken and divided, and he judged, he says, Father, that they may be one as we are one. And he was willing to act. He was willing to pay the price. He was a realist. He said, I have a baptism to receive. He meant his baptism on the cross, and he was willing to act. He was willing to follow through with that. Okay? So our prayer is that we can see with the eyes of faith, to judge in the light of eternity, and to act with the help of God's grace. May our vision be clear, our judgment be right, our action be now. To see as God sees, to judge as God judges, and to act according to his will.